And this is something that I can speak from personal experience. Malaysia is such a young country, such a dynamic environment, that a lot of people that I know from my own experience from studying, from my early career, and who are now my friends, people like Zafro and Ruben, have now become very, very important contacts in other aspects, not just as friends. And you never know where people might end up. So don't just go and look for someone who you think can bring benefit to you for you to know, but get to know everyone. Look at the person next to you, left and right. If you're from a UK university and the guy next to you is from a KL-based university, get to know him. That's happened to me. I've had people that I knew from a conference not too unlike this one long time ago, and we still keep in touch, and they're now doing something that is very relevant to what I do at work, but that's not how I actually sort of started to know this person. We went back a long way before. So to me, yes, just take who you know is important, but take it in the right context.
Yeah, youth like us today, many of us in the hall today are, I can say, very blessed and come from privileged backgrounds and go to good schools and have had the right exposure, and have had the opportunity to network with, in the future, maybe leaders of Malaysia. Discussing on what we're talking about today, how do youth in general fit in? How do you think people from the rural area, the less privileged background, students who do not have this exposure from an early age, who do not have the opportunity to go abroad and study, or even to go to study in the university at all, how do you think the corporate landscape in Malaysia has a chance for them? It's an open question, yeah.
I think it's my turn to go first. I think, yes, you're right. Everyone in this room very lucky. I don't know whether everyone's privileged, but I think everyone here has been given the opportunity to study abroad or to study in the local universities. But there are many out there, and I've come across a few who are not as lucky, and they will find it difficult to come to the business world, to the corporate world. But having said that, we have also seen many successful entrepreneurs who do not have a degree, who do not even have SPM, and who have made it. And we can even see at the global scale, you've seen founder of Microsoft, for example, who's a dropout. You have seen the author of Harry Potter. So these are the kind of people who have the drive. So at the end of the day, I think, regardless, irrespective of whether you have university degree, diploma, or professional degree, if you have the drive, if you believe in what you do, I think you still can make it in the corporate sector. And I've seen many people doing it. I have friends, primary school friends, who are more successful than me. They have done quite a good work in it. One of them is own a construction company. He did SPM, then he did A-levels, but he decided not to pursue a university degree. There's some who actually had a family company, didn't finish his degree, and now also very successful. So at the end of the day, if you have the drive, you believe in what you do, and like Ruben said earlier, if you're passionate about the thing that you do, you will make it. To me, having a degree, having a professional qualification is just a training. You go to university, and most of the things that I learned in university, I don't apply. Maybe because I didn't learn much there, but I've got actually one of my university mates here, Dina, who got first class. I think she's the only one applying what she learned. But to me, at the end of the day, university is about training. It's about learning how to do research, but to a certain extent, networking as well, understanding about life. But at the end of the day, regardless of what you have, your privilege, your background, it's really up to you. Thank you.
What about you, Mr. Ruben? Do you think the corporate scene in Malaysia is ready for a bigger mobility in terms of those from the lower class, the middle class, to get into this corporate world?
I agree with Joshua in the sense that a degree is important, but it's mostly looked at as the discipline, basically. It shows that you can actually have the discipline to study and to, to finish off something. And that's what people look at it mostly. I choose not to use what I learned in school because I did economics, so it's a very boring subject. But I think in a country like ours, Malaysia, and for even people from the rural areas and from the far reaches of Malaysia have opportunities. I don't think we are restricting those to only in the cities or only those who have a higher income. I think our universities are quite open. We have opportunities for everyone who actually tries, and I think that's the most important thing. We need, people who get into universities, whether local or overseas, are the people who try. And I think as a result, corporate Malaysia wants people who graduated because they show the discipline, but it doesn't mean we are excluding those from the rural areas. We are not excluding those from rural areas. Most of my staff are not from cities, and most of my management are not from cities actually.
Is that a conscious decision to?
No, actually, we don't prejudice whether you're from a city or whether you're not from a city. As long as you have the passion, as long as you have the drive, those are the people we want. So first, for me, I see we don't have that issue in Malaysia because I think we have opportunities for everyone. And it doesn't happen everywhere, but fortunately here I think we don't have that problem.
I think both Ruben and Zafo touched on two key points there. Working hard and having a discipline. And I think the reality is that here in Malaysia, given the nature of our country, we're very small as a nation, 27 million. If you look at that and you say that only the urban centers are where the opportunities are, then you are really sort of denying or not utilizing the full extent of our natural resources. And this is something I think that has to change. There is this bias that someone who's pigeonholed into a corporate mold would be an urban rather, a degree holder and so on. But I think there has been more than enough success stories to show that that's not really the case, and that there are actually opportunities for those who work hard and are disciplined. And I think this is also where a lot of the things that's happening now, especially in the last couple of years, would suggest that we need to start having a change in our mindset. I think this is why the government has developed or embarked on this corridor approach to broaden out essentially what has been the key drivers of the country, rather than just focusing on key centers like Kuala Lumpur, Penang. It is to now sort of broaden out into sort of broader areas, because the reality is actually for a lot of people, being close to home should not be something that would work against a favor in terms of having a successful business or corporate career. Actually, I have a good example on this front. A very close friend of mine from LSE, Johorian, had for a long time been very strong and staunch in his views that he can make it without having to come to KL. And this guy stayed in JB, since he graduated, and he's been doing various things. He started his own business, did all sorts of things, and so on and so forth. And he has had a pretty successful career. But then, with, for instance, the work that we did in Iskandar, Malaysia, in Johor, his name came very naturally to mind to have someone who is actually, from Johor, who understands dynamics and the needs of that area, and he's now one of the very senior people in the team at Iskandar, Malaysia. Again, in this example, it's actually